I'm Janelle Rettig from the Johnson County Board of Supervisors. I'd like to welcome you to our board meeting room. It's newly remodeled. I'm echoing. Newly remodeled, but plays a very important role in this building in the history of civil rights in Iowa. And so, I'll move over here. If you'll bear with me, I'm going to take you on a journey through history. If you'll just put yourself just a little bit in the ability to take a journey through history. In 1969, the Stonewall riots occurred in New York City, and that was June of 1969. The very next year, the University of Iowa was the host to the U of I Gay Liberation Front. That was the first gay, lesbian student organization to receive official recognition in the country. And it occurred right here, not far from where we are. 1977, Iowa City added sexual orientation. Let me see that. Okay. In 1977, Iowa City added sexual orientation to its Human Rights Code, leading the country in if you'll bear with me 1 minute, I think they're going to come through that back door and I don't want you to hit.
Thank you.
1977, so you're just 8 years after the Stonewall riots, Iowa City added sexual orientation to the Civil Rights Code. In 1987, the Gay and Lesbian Political Caucus was founded, and that would be the first organized GLBT equal rights organization. They began what now is One Iowa, in a way. You have a number of organizations leading up to our history. By 1987, the first GLBT civil rights bill was introduced into the Iowa legislature. It passed one chamber and failed in the other. And it would take us a long, long time to finally pass it, actually 20 years. For some people that doesn't seem like a long time. For those of us who are waiting, it seems like an eternity. In 1989, the Johnson County Gay and Lesbian Democrats were founded. And in 1992, North America GLBT Studies Conference was held here in Iowa City. People came from all over North America to study GLBT issues. In 1994, we held our first official GLBT Constituent Lobby Day on the Hill. And I can tell you, it was a rather awkward time to have a group of 100 GLBT people come to the Capitol for the first time organized. And our local choir sang in the Capitol that day, words like freedom. And I can still, to this moment, get chills running up and down my spine to see all those great and wonderful and beautiful voices singing. And if we told this story when Representative Mary Masher was in the room, she'd start crying, because those are one of the moments that you'll just remember forever. In 1995, Iowa City added gender identity to the Human Rights Code, making us one of the first communities across the country to actually use the words gender identity as a separated class. And by 2007, we finally passed a human rights ordinance in Johnson County, exactly here in this area, in our remodeled building, making Johnson County the very first county to have a human rights ordinance, period, let alone one that had sexual orientation and gender identity in it. That led us to just a few months later passing civil rights ordinance for the state of Iowa, adding sexual orientation and gender identity. Along the way, we fought off constitutional amendments that would bring us to where we are now. Let me get the date right so we just have it right. February 27, 2004, GLBT couples, gay and lesbian couples, invaded this building in a way and took over the area out here, and the entire second floor was filled. I'm glad the fire marshal wasn't around, because it was packed. You could not move. And we went one by one to County Recorder Kim Painter and asked Kim to give us a marriage license, which Kim, upholding the Constitution and the state of Iowa law, denied us. And all of a sudden, spontaneously, the entire crowd started singing Going to the Chapel. And it echoed through this room and through this entire building. And if you bring us forward to when the marriage equality lawsuit came to a ruling last April, those of us who wanted to be together called the Board of Supervisors and asked them if we could use their board meeting room to gather with elected officials and constituents and people to gather here, footsteps away from where we would eventually ask for marriage licenses. And we did. And we had a little bit of trouble getting Wi-Fi service, but what happened was with modern technology, Representative Vicki Lansing, who was still on the floor of the legislature, was able to call Representative Masher and let her know that we had won, that the ruling had come down and we had won. And we were in this room, in the remodeled part, the old room of this, but we were here, within steps of here. And then later, on the day that we were able to start marriage license, I've never seen anything like it. They tailgated in the parking lot of this building. They set up tents, they set up food, they tailgated. I've never seen anything like it. It was like a football game outside this building. And so I thank my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors for allowing us to come back once again to this building, which has been a very important part of our history and of the civil rights movement, not only in our county, but across the state. And I would recognize two of my colleagues, the chair of the Board of Supervisors, Sally Stutzman, and Supervisor Rod Sullivan. I thank them for being with us and allowing us to use this room. It's my pleasure to introduce County Recorder Kim Painter.